There are a lot of things going on in K-pop. Some we're not going to talk about at all because it would be ridiculous for companies to even give attention to it. Trust me, nonsense. One of the pieces of evidence, same nail polish. I'm not even gonna... And other topics, I'm actually waiting for an official response, like the reports of Chu maybe leaving BLACKBERRY or the president of the Korea Singers Association begging BTS to reconsider their break on group activities. However, while we wait for those, we definitely still have things to talk about. Stray Kids recently performed in Japan for their Maniac tour, and on the way back, Stray Kids were once again mobbed by a giant crowd at the airport. It wasn't even that long ago when Felix fell due to the chaos, and this time it was Han who fell. In the footage, you can see him emerging from the crowd, seemingly having hurt his arm. Regardless, they had to keep moving due to the swarm of people, while the manager and Seungmin checked if he was okay. Despite this, Han still bowed and reassured everyone he was going to be just fine. Thankfully, Han was okay this time, but how is this still happening? And in this case, especially since Han has gone on hiatus before due to anxiety. Bangchan even recently addressed this very thing himself.
Yeah, but if everyone, respected space, then probably none of this would have happened. But yeah.
Now, while Stray Kids just left Japan, SSERAFIM are now beginning to promote there. It was announced earlier this week that SSERAFIM would be making an appearance on a Japanese TV program. And very notably, Kim Garam was part of that announcement. We haven't seen Kim Garam since her hiatus after all the accusations went down that we've talked about extensively. So this is the first time we've seen her on TV in a couple of months. Now, this is not her returning to SSERAFIM activities. It's very important to note that the reason she appears on there is because this was recorded back in early May. If you look at the Japanese fan sign photos that were taken more recently, you can see that she's not there. Although, if you are to believe a few spotting accounts of her recently, it does look like she still goes to the company building and even signs things for fans. Again, when it comes to this, we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Just like we were waiting for an update to see what was going to happen with TO1. Last time we talked about this, it was announced out of nowhere that TO1 were going on hiatus. Literally the week they came back from KCON Chicago, where I saw them with my own eyes. So it was definitely a very odd situation. Well, Wake1 has now updated that 3 members are leaving and 3 new members have been added. According to them, TO1 has decided to take on new challenges through re-establishment of the team identity. The 3 previous members, Minsu, Woongi, and Jerome, will apparently prepare for a new start. And very importantly, Wake1 are still addressing the 3 as, quote, our artists. And in the midst of this abrupt situation, TO1 with the 3 new members were also just announced for KCON LA as well. As always though, let's get into the positive stuff that we can celebrate in K-pop. This first one is just hilarious. Remember when Somi was live streaming in the Black Label building and then panicked because a song blasted out those doors that allegedly had Jennie's voice on it?
Oh my god. Oh. I hope you guys didn't hear anything because I tried my best to close that door.
Well, a similar situation happened to TWICE's NAYEON and CHAEYOUNG. However, this time it was a bit less in their control because it was blasting in the room next door. Now, the only reason I'm playing this clip is because that song, Circus by Stray Kids, has already come out by the time you're watching this. Something that also just came out is GOT7 YOUNGJAE'S new music video for his song Sugar, which something I thought was very cool, actually features HUENING Leah, of course the oldest of the HUENING siblings, whose family apparently just has all the talent. That being said, of course Kepler also just came back, and it's so heartwarming to see YUJIN's mom posting about her daughter's gifts to her parents. It looks like she gave her parents expensive beef and sent them on a date to Outback. It's just awesome to see her thriving right now, seeing success in Kepler. Eric Nam also seems like he's thriving, selling out shows at the Moulin Rouge. By the way, check out the signed poster, no big deal, no big deal. So if you remember during his Seattle stop, Eric halted his concert when he realized a fan was passing out in the crowd. They took care of the fan and the crew even started passing out waters. Thankfully, everyone was okay that night. Well, a clip is now blowing up of Eric Nam doing the same thing, this time at his concert in Belgium.
Sorry, we have a medical emergency right here. Sorry.
Apparently, the girl was suffering from a panic attack, and luckily, Eric noticed someone holding up a sign that said paramedics needed in the back. Thankfully, once again, this person was okay after getting water and fresh air. Another mishap took place in Europe, but not an audience member. This time, it was the actual idol. The boys were performing in London for their world tour when member Q began showing signs that something was wrong, noticeably slowing down. You can see the members on either side of him reach out to make sure he's okay, and while he did end up leaving the stage for some time, he eventually did come out to be with everyone, but was sitting down for the rest of the show, no longer dancing. Thankfully, he was okay enough to come back, and hopefully he's a lot better now. 17's JOOHAN will also be okay after receiving surgery in his right elbow recently. Pledis updated on his health status after his increasing pain and discovering worsening tendon damage, reassuring that the operation was successful and he's been recuperating as of a few days ago, which seems to be going well because they also said that he's highly determined to attend activities that were already planned, including their world tour, where he'll obviously be wearing a cast. What a time for them to do a world tour, recently having the 7th most popular album in the US, breaking the top 10 for the first time. K-pop is absolutely killing it on the album charts, as this week, it was announced that BTS's new album debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200. Hopefully, I get to see 17 on tour soon. I'm really lucky to have already witnessed BTS at SoFi Stadium with 50,000 other fans, but none of us can compare our success as fans as much as KIHYUN'S grandmother at MONSTA X's concert. Yes, of course, she showed love to her grandson just like the rest of his family did, but just look how happy she is when she sees her bias JOOHAN. Look at her even in a photo with all of them. This is the kind of bliss we all chase. I just need a video of her and JOOHAN doing karaoke together. Now that would be